audience. Hello, there's 3.
4.
Plus one about to be.
Plus 1.
Okay.
Coming in camera view, there's 4. Sorry, I don't have 5. Scottish psychologist R.D. Laing once said, "The experience and behavior that gets labeled schizophrenic is a strategy that a person invents in order to live in an unlivable situation." Schizophrenia is a mental illness capable of completely ruling over one's life. First, I'll introduce you to the different types of schizophrenia and what they are. Second, I'll explain the onset and warning signs of a schizophrenic. And lastly, I'll go on to tell you about the effects that the illness can have on those who suffer from it. Now I'll explain how the different types of schizophrenia and each causing severe problems. There are 3 major subtypes of schizophrenia. Paranoid schizophrenia is probably the most common type that most people know about. According to Dr. Michael Bingstein, the defining feature of paranoid schizophrenia is the presence of auditory hallucinations and delusional thoughts about persecution or conspiracy. People with this subtype are generally more functional in their ability to work and engage in relationships than those in other subtypes. They also don't seem as odd or unusual and may not readily discuss their symptoms. This disorganized subtype has the predominant feature of disorganization of the thought processes. Delusions and hallucinations are less pronounced in this subtype, but routine daily tasks such as bathing and dressing could be seriously impaired or lost entirely. These people also may appear emotionally unstable or react in ways that do not fit the context of the situation at hand. Communication skills also falter. Speech is often slurred and unclear. The last subtype is the catatonic subtype. Those suffering from this schizophrenia of this kind is disturbed movement. Affected people may experience a dramatic reduction in activity to the point where voluntary movement is almost completely stopped, as in a catatonic stupor. Alternatively, activity may dramatically increase, which is called catatonic excitement. Next, I will tell you about the onset and warning signs associated with schizophrenia. No matter what subtype of schizophrenia, there are always warning signs to look for as it develops. According to an article written by Dr. Gene Siegel, the earliest symptoms to notice in those developing schizophrenia are particular changes in behavior. They may become disinterested in hobbies or activities they usually were enthusiastic about and may have trouble expressing emotion. Early stage schizophrenics may stop caring about their physical appearance or be indifferent towards life in general. Delusions, hallucinations, disorganization are 3 other usual symptoms. Delusions are firmly held ideas that someone holds despite evidence against it, often involving bizarre ideas or fantasies. Hallucinations are sounds or sensations experienced if they were real, but really only exist in the person's mind. Fragmented thinking is common in schizophrenics, making speaking very disorganized and hard to follow. Lastly, I will tell you about the long-term effects of schizophrenia. Schizophrenia can completely control one's life, causing them to make wild decisions that they otherwise wouldn't. Schizophrenics are likely to commit suicide. Nearly 1/3 of all schizophrenics will commit suicide, and 10% of those diagnosed will commit suicide within 20 years of being diagnosed. Patients with schizophrenia often don't talk about their illness, making it harder to save their life. The most significant risk of suicide in men under the age of 30 who have symptoms of depression and a relatively recent hospital discharge. Substance abuse is also common in schizophrenics. People with schizophrenia have impaired judgment, which makes it easy for them to give into temptation and of drugs. Also, schizophrenics have been known to try to self-medicate with mind-altering drugs, which makes treatment much harder. In conclusion, schizophrenia is the ability to completely alter someone's otherwise normal life. First, I told you about the 3 types of schizophrenia. Then I explained warning signs of the beginning of schizophrenia. And lastly, I spoke about the serious effects it has on someone's life. Schizophrenia is a devastating and sad mental illness. It should never be overlooked and always taken seriously.